Jai Hind. So, in this video, we'll be discussing about some of the exercises that are very important with respect to our CDS examination, which is going to happen on 3rd of September. So, this I have categorized the exercises into Army, Navy, and Air Force exercises that take place. Uh, so this is the our army exercises. Army exercises, first of all, is Phrenex. Phrenex is it this exercise, as you know from the name. FR is for France, IN for India. It is a joint exercise between Indian Army and French Army, which took place at our Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Then we have Bold Kurukshetra. This was the 13th edition. This exercise, Fringe X, was the first edition, the first ever inaugural exercise that took place. We have Bold Kurukshetra, the 13th edition of this exercise. It is a bilateral exercise that happened between India and Singapore. Then we have AF Index. This is between Africa, India, training exercise which happened in Pune, and second edition of this recently took place. Exercise Kavach is a exercise that happened in Andaman and Nicobar Command, and this exercise is not between countries but rather it is between Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Together they do take participation, and it was conducted in Andaman and Nicobar Command. Ajay Warrior is between Indian Army and United Kingdom. The seventh edition recently took place. Exercise Balikatan is exercise that took place between Philippines and USA, and India was not part. So this is very important that exercise Balikatan was between Philippines and USA and was largest ever joint military exercise to counter China. We have Buland Bharat, Jal Rahat, and Sudarshan Shakti. These three exercises are not between countries but within our India. So Buland Bharat is by the Indian Army, conducted over the high altitude ranges of Arunachal Pradesh. Then our Jal Rahat is by Gajraj Corps of Indian Army, conducted a joint flood relief exercise called Jal Rahat at Hagrama Bridge on Manas River in Assam. And the purpose of exercise is to validate the joint drills to enhance the coordination among the multiple agencies involved in the flood relief operation. Then we have Sudarshan Shakti. Was the joint army exercises in the Rajasthan western border. Sudarshan Shakti was to create a test operational plans in the network centric settings. Then we have exercise Yukuvirin. Exercise Yukuvirin was the 12th edition of this joint military exercise, was between Army, Maldives, National Defense Forces. So Indian Army and Maldives were the two countries that took participated. Exercise Conquest is the joint military exercise between Mongolia and India. Exercise Conquest is a multinational peacekeeping joint exercise, featuring participation of multiple military contingent. This is not between, it is actually between 20 countries, which commenced in Mongolia, and Indian Army represented the contingent from the Garhwal Rifles. Our 15th edition of Nomadic Elephant is between Mongolia and India. 15th edition took place and commenced at Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. We have Cyclone 1. Cyclone 1 is between India and Egypt, and it was an inaugural edition of this exercise which took place in Rajasthan. Dustlik is between 4th edition, that is a military to military exchange program between Indian Army, and Uzbekistan. Then we have exercise Dharma Guardian, the last exercise of Indian Army. That is the fourth edition took place, just like our exercise, just like fourth edition, and this was between Indian Army and Japan Army. India and Japan together participated in the Dharma Guardian. Moving ahead to the naval exercises, we have exercise La Perouse. This exercise was the third edition multilateral exercise conducted in Indian Ocean region. We have Tropex. Tropex is actually a theater level operational readiness exercise which was conducted across the Indian Ocean region and culminated in the Arabian Sea by all the Indian Navy unit air participated, and also the Indian Army, Air Force, and our Coast Guard assets. Exercise Sea Dragon. Sea Dragon, as you all know, the third edition of this was multilateral anti-submarine warfare exercise. Very important with respect to the examination point of view. And India and USA took participated in Sea Dragon. Other participating countries could be India, USA, Japan, Canada, South Korea. Konkan is between Indian Navy and UK, our Royal Navy, UK, United Kingdom in Arabian Sea took place. Then we have Slinix, Sri Lanka, India exercise, bilateral annual exercise, which is an India Sri Lanka annual bilateral maritime exercise, Slinix, which have followed by a sea phase, harbor phase. So we have a AIME. This is an India Maritime Exercise. This is actually a Indian naval ship Satpura and Delhi arrived at Singapore to participate in the inaugural Asian India Maritime Exercise. So first time this exercise took place, inaugural happened in the at this Singapore. Then we have India Thai Corpat. Corpat is the our Indo Corpat, the full form is Coordinated Patrol. 35th edition of this took place between Indian Navy and Royal Thai Navy, conducted in the Andaman Sea. Then we have Samudra Shakti. Samudra Shakti exercise is by one of the Navy ships, INS Kawarati, indigenously designed, built by ASW Corvette, arrived at Batam, Indonesia to participate in the fourth edition of India-Indonesia bilateral exercise called as Samudra Shakti that happens in the Indonesia and India. Then we have Al Mohed Al Hind. This exercise, INS Tarkash and INS Subhadra arrived at the port of Jubail to commence the second edition of this exercise called as Al Mohed Al Hind. Indian Navy and Saudi Arabian naval forces take part in this. In Tiger Shark, Shark is the Bangladesh and US joint naval exercises that take part in this. Bangladesh and US take part in this Tiger Shark 40. Then going ahead, we have exercise Ekta. Ekta exercise. Ekta exercise is the sixth edition of this exercise, which was between Maldives and Indian Navy, marine commanders, and Maldives National Defense Forces. Maldives and India take part in this Ekta. We have Komodo. Komodo is a multilateral naval exercise. Komodo, otherwise called as MANEX, which is between our Indonesia and India. So with Indonesia, we have a lot of exercises. Uh, Maldives, we have Ekta. Indonesia, we have Komodo. Then our MPX is a maritime partnership exercise, which is by Indian Navy and French Navy, which was in the Bay of Bengal along the coast of Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. GIMEX. GIMEX is between Japan India Maritime Exercise. Seventh edition of this recently took place. Indian Navy conducted in the at Visakhapatnam. Salvex exercise. 21st edition of bilateral naval exercise between India and France. Exercise Varuna has begun on the western seaboard. Varuna is between 21st edition of the Varuna. This the 21st edition of Varuna is between India and France, and Salvex exercise is between our USA and India. Salvex exercise is between USA and India. Amphex exercise, Indian Navy carried out the 6-day long mega military exercise. Indian Army and Indian Air Force near Kankinada in Andhra Pradesh took part in this exercise. This is not a country exercise that other countries take part in this. This is actually within the India that Indian Navy along with the Army and Indian Air Force took part in this exercise in Andhra Pradesh region. Then we have Prasthan, the final exercise, that is naval exercise Prasthan, which is a security exercise conducted uh, Eastern Naval Command in the offshore development area of Kaninada. So this were the exercises that Indian Navy conducts. The final Indian Air Force exercise, if we see these exercises, we have first of all called as Shinyu Maitri. Shinyu Maitri is a bilateral exercise between Japan and India. It is a bilateral exercise. Japan and India take part is in Shinyu-Matri. Vayu Prahar exercise, that is between Indian Army and Air Force, has conducted in 96 hours of multi-domain air and land exercise Vayu Prahar in the eastern sector. Exercise Orion, Indian Air Force participated in the multilateral international exercise Orion, Mount de Marsan, France. At Mount de Marsan, France, and participating countries beside Indian Air Force, there were FASF Air Force from Germany, Greece, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, UK, and USA. Then we have, after Orion, we have INIOCHOs. 23. This is an Indian Air Force participated in this exercise. It is a multinational exercise hosted by the Hellenic Air Force. This exercise was conducted in the Greece. You know, exercise scope India very famous. This exercise is between Indian Air Force and USA. And exercise we have Cobra. Cobra is between Indian Air Force and United Kingdom. Other countries like Singapore, Finland, USA, South Africa, Sweden will also participate in this exercise. And finally, our Desert Flag 8, this held in the UAE Air Force. Indian Air Force participated in this exercise, and other countries that participated are USA, Republic of Korea, Spain, Morocco, Bahrain, UK, Australia, Kuwait, France, and UAE. Thank you.